Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a full guide dedicated to the shield set. We're going to go over the optimal champions, the mechanics of the set, and then also the suboptimal champions that should not be wearing it. So let's get into it. Alrighty, first of all, I want to pull up my sets ranking tier list. I will link to this down in a pinned comment. It's also always in the video description of all the videos I do. So what I'm doing is trying to really do a deep dive into the mechanics and gearing process of each set, and I'm kind of slowly filling this in. You'll see here shield, I've got all the way up there. It's a very good set. I try to rank these sets in terms of general usefulness from early game, mid game, end game, which is really difficult to do. It's never going to be perfect, but I do edit these things and try to keep them fluid as I kind of learn things and the metas of raid shift around. So shield, basically, it's an S tier set. It's very good. There's lots of situations where you can get utility out of it in faction wars, dungeons, and then most notably the arena, in my opinion. But we will talk about all of that when we go over the mechanics. I just wanted to really quickly show you the rankings here, and I will be filling this out as we go, and you can find that down below. So let's get that put away. And the first thing to go over when it comes to the shield set is how to acquire it. Now, you will see it sometimes in offers that come to the shop, but obviously the main source of acquisition is going to be the shield that you see here in the Fire Knight. So if you want good shield gear, you're going to have to be grinding the Fire Knight. And then as we dive into the mechanics of how the set actually functions, it's pretty easy to understand, but there are a couple little minor things that you definitely want to know when you're diving into the shield set. So it's just 30% HP ally shield for 3 turns. Now, this is not based on the individual champion. It is based on the champion that is wearing the shield set. So let me explain how that functions. I've got my Mountain King in a shield set, and remember, it says 30% HP ally shield. So what that means is when I go to total HP, 134,000, we take 30% of that, which is about 40,000. So he's going to place about 40,000 something shield on the entire team, because you got the 134,000 HP. You take that and you take 30% of it for the effect of the shield set, and then that shield is going to go on Mountain King himself and everyone on his team. So it's not a 30% shield on the whole team based on each individual. It takes that number of the person wearing the shield set and extrapolates it across the whole team. So what that means is the shield set is going to be way more optimal on champions that have really good base HP. A champion with like at least 20,000 base HP, and usually champions that scale with HP. Like you see here on Mountain King, he's got damage based off of HP, and he's got an extremely good base HP, so the shield set is very good on him, especially if you are using him in the arena for certain compositions. But we'll talk about all of that a little bit later when we get into the optimal champions. Right now, we are going over the mechanics, which means next we should talk about if the shield set stacks or not, and if it does, how does that stack occur? So what I did was I got a little photo here prepped to show you the effect of having 3 champions in a shield set and what that provides on a champion versus having 1 champion in a shield set and what that provides. So on the left is how much shield my Battle Khazar will get when teamed up with my Mountain King that you see in the shield set right here. Now on the right is when I add 2 more champions in a shield set, which in this case was Madame Ceres and Sathalia. They're nowhere near the HP, the 140,000 or whatever, 130,000 that my Mountain King has, but they still provide some shields, and you can see that being added. So they do stack. The shield will be 1 effect, but all of those shield sets will combine into 1 shield that goes on the champion. You can see the bars get a lot skinnier, and there's a lot more general toughness in terms of HP and shield on the champion on the right with the stacking of 3 shield sets as opposed to just 1. But there are a couple things to understand in terms of how this effect takes place. So I've got a bunch of shielding going on in this team and these champions that you see right here. So there's actually a completely different icon when it comes to the shield set versus shield buffs that get placed, and they function as 2 opposite things. So shields that are placed from abilities will not combine into the shield set, but all people wearing the shield set will be a separate calculation that is combined into 1 shield and placed on everybody. So in this team, I've got Mountain King, Ceres, and Sathalia all in a shield set. That gets combined into this little checkerboard shield that you see above everybody. It gets combined as 1 shield set effect as a separate calculation. But then shields that are placed as part of someone's kit you can see it's the two-sided shield. It is the blue and white shield instead of the checkerboard quadrant shield. And so it's going to be separate when it's the set or the kit. And then if you do more abilities that stack more shields, that will also combine with that other one. It won't also go as a separate shield. You won't get a third shield buff. You'll have the sets and the kit abilities both combining into separate buffs, but they crunch into one white bar as a shield that is added on to people's HP. I know it's a lot of words, there's a lot to follow, but basically all you need to know is shield sets are one separate calculation and one separate buff, and shield kit abilities are an entirely separate calculation that combine as a separate buff from the shield set. And I can demonstrate this when I show you. The Ceres will go, she'll maintain her shield that was placed on her by her passive. Then we do the auto there on Sathalia. Now, when I do the massive Valkyrie shield, it's going to combine with the blue and white shield of the Ceres. The Ceres won't get a third shield buff from the Valkyrie. It will crunch in to the separate kit calculation of the shields. So we go boom, and there you see it combined with the shield set that she had on right there, crunched it in, but it all maintains its place as that consistent white bar that adds to the HP of a champion. And since the shield is a buff, it can be removed. So if you have a champion like Sathalia, 75% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. That will remove shields if she's got enough accuracy to proc that effect against the enemy's resistance. It is just like any other buff, like defense up, speed up. The shield will function just like that, and it can be completely removed. It can also be left on the champion but completely ignored. You've got a champion like Faceless here with the Ice Bolt. Attack one enemy, will ignore shield and block damage buffs as well as defense. So that means the shield is going to be worthless against this Ice Bolt effect. It's going to ignore the white part of that bar and just go straight to the HP part and completely ignore shield. And there's one more thing I want to talk about in terms of the mechanic of how the set functions, and that is shields pair very well with defense type champions that have really high defense. And I want to show you this image to show that in action. So what the shield set does is it now in some games, shields will function completely separate of HP. Like shields will always take full damage or something. It's usually a separate mechanic. I know it functions like that in like Overwatch, and I think it did in StarCraft as well, where shields would just always take max damage because they usually regenerate or something. But it's completely different in Raid. It actually just stacks as HP, but the game shows it as a different color. It doesn't show it as green like HP. That way you can see what the shield is and what the HP is, but they're basically just one big HP pool as long as the shield lasts. So what that means is it's going to be, the shield is going to be helped out by defense. So we can see here that I've got a Mountain King and a Valkyrie up on the screen. They both got hit by the same AoE ability by a Void Affinity champion, so it's going to be neutral no matter what. There's no weak hit, there's no strong hit. They should both be hit by the same ability, by the same neutral affinity. And what happens is the Mountain King takes almost 13,000 damage to the shield, and the Valkyrie takes 5,400. That is because the Valkyrie has a lot more defense than the Mountain King, so she's going to take a lot less damage on her shield. The blue number means it was damage to the shield. So the 12,000 got hit on the Mountain King towards his shield because he's an HP champion with low defense, but the high defense champion took less than half as much damage to her shield because the shield is helped out in terms of toughness and how long it will last and how much it will absorb. It's helped by defense. So who are the optimal champions that should be wearing the shield set? I know I touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'll wrap it up really quick here for you as well, just a little bit more in depth in a specific location. Mountain King is one of the most notorious champions for being really good in the shield set because he's got really high base HP, the highest in the game at 31,050. So anybody with a base HP of like over 20 something thousand is going to be a good candidate for the shield set, but the shield set's not always great. The optimal times to use the shield set is going to be like dungeon waves where you've got squishies that you want to keep alive, and you can use a high HP champion to wear a shield set and place that shield on everybody. In the arena, it can be really good to help you absorb what the enemies are going to be doing. So notably, it's going to be really good against nuke teams. If you want to go second, You can absorb a lot of the damage that enemy nuke team does to you, and the shield will help you be able to stay alive so that you can absorb what they do and then retaliate. So it's going to be really good for champions that have high HP and are versus like dungeon waves, or most notably usually in the arena. So then who would be the suboptimal champions that should not be wearing the shield set? And I think Foley is a good candidate and example for that. You can see here Foley only has 15,000 HP. So that right there alone makes him not a good candidate, because it's going to be hard to get good value. It's going to be hard to get a lot of shields and a lot of utility out of the shield set on a champion with HP that's under about 20,000. And then also, Foley is a damage dealer designed around hitting hard, not stacking a bunch of HP. So anybody that's going to be used as a hard-hitting nuker that has low base HP is not going to be a great candidate for the shield set. And also, if you're doing quick fights, like if you have a nuke team in the arena, you've got like Arbiter, Lysandra, and then a debuffer, and then a nuker. If your strategy is based around just blasting down the enemy team and then not even getting a chance to retaliate, you're not really going to be absorbing anything. You're not getting any value out of that shield set. And then also in the clan boss. So if you've got the shield set's basically worthless in the clan boss, because it's gone in 3 turns and it never comes back unless you go to the next dungeon wave. So if you have like a dragon run where it has 3 different waves, that's 3 different times the shield set will get added to your champions. But in a scenario like the clan boss, where it just starts and it goes forever. Also the spider's den, it just starts and goes forever. So in any fight where it's not going to reset, it's not going to have a new dungeon wave, and it's going to go for a really long time. Also in the arena, if you've got a super defensive team in the arena that's built around 2-minute fights or something, remember, you're only going to get the value 1 time, and it's only going to last for 3 turns. So once it's gone forever, and that's 4 basically wasted set pieces on a champion after the first 3 turns. So it's really, really bad in the clan boss, most notably. You're never going to want to put shield set on a champion that you're using only for the clan boss. You're going to want to focus on other things and definitely not put the shield on them. But yeah, other than that, you can usually at least get some utility out of it, especially in the waves of faction wars, the waves of dungeons, but it's usually best and most notably used in the end game in the arena. So yeah, that's going to cover most of what I want to touch on for the shield set and the mechanics and optimal champions that should be wearing it. So I really enjoy doing these deep dive videos. I'm looking forward to doing more of the sets in the game. And we actually just found out from Plarium, if you're watching this video when it kind of just came out, we actually heard for the first time that they're thinking about doing some rebalancing on sets. So there's a chance that I may have to update that tier list a lot in terms of the set rankings. And I just found out about that today. So I wanted to throw that in this video as well, that we may finally be getting some rebalancing for some of those really bad set artifacts. And you can find that tier list down in a pinned comment. It'll be nice and easy to find, so you can keep up to date on all of the rankings of the sets in the game in terms of how I grade them in general utility. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.